Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'll be going over the general aiming tips you should know when playing PUBG. When first starting out on this game, aiming is certainly one of the hardest things to get used to. This video should give you necessary tips that will improve your aim and overall gameplay on both console and PC. Before I get started, I'm going to ask you to drop a like if you found this video in any way helpful. Let's try to get to 20 likes this video, it really helps out the channel. With that being said, let's get started with the first tip. The compensator, suppressor, and flash hider each have their pros and cons, and there are certain scenarios where a certain one of these attachments should be prioritized over the other. The compensator reduces horizontal recoil and vertical recoil. If you have the option, this attachment should always be used in close quarter gunfights. The next attachment, the suppressor, greatly reduces the weapon's noise while also eliminating muzzle flash. This attachment is best used when picking off targets from long range, or if you're just trying to remain stealthy. Finally, the flash hider eliminates muzzle flash, while also slightly reducing horizontal and vertical recoil. This makes it very beneficial to have on your gun in a close to mid-range gunfight, due to less recoil and no muzzle flash. When I play, I try to keep both a compensator and a suppressor in my inventory. This gives me the option to switch between attachments depending on the situation I'm in. Now let's get into tip number 2, angled foregrip versus vertical foregrip. Just like the muzzle type attachments, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. The angled foregrip reduces horizontal recoil by 20%. This makes the angled foregrip a better option in close and mid-range gunfights because it's much easier to pull down on your stick or mouse to control vertical recoil. The vertical foregrip reduces vertical recoil by 15%. This attachment provides better aim for longer range when you're trying to tap fire the other player, or it could do well for players that have a good trigger finger. In the future, I will make a video going further into the recoil patterns for each attachment and why certain scenarios demand different attachments. Now that I have summed up what goes into better aim for assault rifles, here's a picture of one of the best assault rifle loadouts currently. This will very well change as more updates roll out, but right now we need to embrace how nutty the M4 is. My third tip goes with using the AKM. It's not a bad gun, it's just many people don't know how to control its recoil. From very close range, soft aiming with the AKM can be very deadly, but as you get farther away from your target, it gets harder and harder to control the recoil. Using a 4 to 5 bullet burst method in close or medium range gunfights can prove to be very effective in controlling the AKM's vertical recoil. This method allows you to use a controlled recoil pattern without the sight ever going too far above head height. Long range gunfights is where the AKM is lacking. The easiest way to take out an enemy at long range with the AKM is to slow tap fire headshots, and you might be lucky enough to hit them. Another thing with the AKM is to always use the compensator. Other than the flash hider, this is the only attachment that can take away from the AKM's recoil. The next tip I will go over is when you should hipfire, when you should soft aim, and when you should aim down your sights. Hipfire should be used when you're face to face with the enemy, or if you just don't have time to react. Unlike soft aiming and aiming down sights, hipfire does not take any time to shoot. This fraction of a second not used to aim could very well save your life. Soft aim should only be used in close range gunfights. It's quicker than aiming down sights and provides better accuracy than just hip firing. There are also certain weapons that I prefer to use soft aim with. These weapons are the pistol, shotgun, mini Uzi, and Tommy gun. When I aim down sights with these weapons, I either lose mobility or can't get past how bad their iron sight looks. I only like to aim down sights with these weapons when I am shooting from long range. Aiming down sights should be used in the vast majority of your gunfights. You are able to have much better accuracy, as well as being able to use the zoom and peek features. Both of these features can prove to be critical when trying to out-aim your opponent. The basic takeaway of this is that in the majority of your gunfights, you should aim down your sights since it provides better accuracy and a better chance of killing your opponent. Tip number 5 goes over the auto M4 4x scope. When I run around with a fully attached M4, I usually keep a 4x scope on it. Since the M4 has very little recoil, it's very easy to control even with a 4x. If you latch onto your enemy at close range with this setup, the accuracy and the auto fire will most likely take him out in a few seconds. For this to work best, you would need the compensator and vertical foregrip attached on the gun to reduce as much vertical recoil as possible. Tip number 6 is knowing the bullet drop for the different ammo types and the different guns. As an example, the M4 is much better at long range gunfights than the AKM because 5.56 has less bullet drop than 7.62 ammo, and 5.56 also produces less recoil than 7.62 weapons. Knowing this tip is very beneficial when trying to hit a moving target from long range with either weapon. Coming in at the 7th tip is to always think before shooting, especially if the other player doesn't see you. If a player is running out into an open field or getting into a car, wait a little bit so it will be easier for you to take him out when he has no cover or can't shoot back at you. This tip might be well known and practiced, but it's still good to always think about because it's very hard to undo a mistake in this game. Finally, the last tip is to keep the gun you're running around with in full auto. PUBG is full of surprises and you never know when a bush Wookiee could pop out, so it's better to be prepared with a full auto gun rather than shooting him once and dying. Alright, so those tips should sum up the basics on improving your aim and gameplay in PUBG. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to leave a like so more people have a chance of seeing this video. If you need help winning gunfights or just getting more kills, I suggest you watch my gunfight tips video, which is located at the end of this video under the random tab. I hope you guys learned something from watching this video and are able to replicate these tips while seeing some success in your future games. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.